I'm Janice of the University of Ottawa, and I feel compelled to come forward to tell my story. 58 years ago, former Vice President Joseph Biden sexually harassed me when he was 17, and I was not even born yet. No, of course not. But what if I claimed he did, in a more plausible scenario, of course? Biden recently announced that he generally believes a woman when she makes a public accusation against a high-profile man, as Christine Blasey Ford has done against Judge Brett Kavanaugh. I'm not sure, by the way, what Biden thinks of all the women who say Bill Clinton harassed and assaulted them over the years. Now, here's his exact statement quoted in the Huffington Post. Quote, "For a woman to come forward in the glaring lights of focus nationally, you've got to start off with the presumption that at least the essence of what she's talking about is real, whether or not she forgets facts, whether or not it's been made worse or better over time. Nobody fails to understand that this is like jumping into a cauldron," end quote. The idea behind this tiresome cliche is that presumably, women, being rather delicate creatures, are traumatized by the questions and skepticism and public attention their accusations provoke. Biden doesn't mention the positive side of public exposure, of course, the outpouring of sympathy, the national and even worldwide attention, the possible book deals and speaking engagements, the future high-profile and lucrative positions on academic and government-funded committees and task forces. Biden would have us believe that it's a purely negative experience and that willingness to endure this negative experience must strongly support the woman's truthfulness. But given that many people do believe the woman, recently, for example, 599 alumni of Christine Blasey Ford's high school have signed a letter saying they believe her, well, doesn't that kill the presumed credibility? If we believe because the experience of telling is so traumatic, then it's not traumatic. So then why should we believe? Well, never mind. That's getting too complicated for me. At the same Washington event in which Biden expressed his general belief in accusers' veracity, he also said he regretted the bad experience Anita Hill endured when she came forward to accuse Judge Clarence Thomas when he was nominated for the Supreme Court. So let's talk about Anita Hill's ordeal and what came of it. In December of 2017, top Hollywood executives announced that following on the Harvey Weinstein scandal, Anita Hill would be leading a commission on sexual harassment and advancing equality in the workplace, its purpose being to come up with a wide variety of recommendations to ensure safety and equality in various entertainment and related industries. Anita Hill's public profile as a champion of women is based largely on her allegation some 27 years ago that Judge Clarence Thomas was unworthy to sit on the United States Supreme Court bench because he had sexually harassed her when she worked for him years before, though she had never complained at the time, had willingly followed him from one job to another, and had kept in contact with him years after they had stopped working together. What had Thomas done that supposedly disqualified him from appointment to the Supreme Court? Did he threaten to fire her if she didn't sleep with him? Did he touch her inappropriately? No. According to Hill, when she wouldn't go out with him, he used the workplace to make sexually tinged jokes and comments, including the now infamous, "Who put pubic hair on my Coke?" Even at the time of the confirmation hearings, when I was a young graduate student, I found it hard to believe that Thomas had actually said the things Hill alleged in the manner she stated. Of course, context is all when it comes to casual remarks or jokes reported years later. And even if he had said precisely what she claimed in the way she claimed, I couldn't find it serious enough to count as sexual harassment that should disqualify someone with an otherwise outstanding career from serving on the Supreme Court. If we're all to be judged for unwise or weird things we've said at work or in our lives over the whole course of our personal histories, few of us would escape a public hanging. So what became of Anita Hill as a result of the glaring lights that focused on her, the Biden-esque cauldron she jumped into. Of course, Biden doesn't give a damn about the cauldron a man is pushed into when he is publicly accused. For Hill, the cauldron of attention cooked up a lot of career opportunities. In the year following her testimony at the Thomas hearings, 1992, she received the American Bar Association's Woman of Achievement Award. A year later, she was inducted into her home state, Oklahoma's Women's Hall of Fame. In the same year, she co-edited a book called Race, Gender, and Power in America, The Legacy of the Hill-Thomas Hearings. In 1997, she was given a visiting scholar position at UC Berkeley, and soon after that, she was hired by Brandeis University, where she teaches courses on gender, race, social policy, and legal history. In 1997, she made her role in the Thomas hearings the subject of her autobiography, self-effacingly titled Speaking Truth to Power. And to this day, she regularly makes guest appearances on news and current affairs shows as an expert on the subject of sexual harassment. I think it's not unfair to say that nothing Anita Hill ever did contributed more positively to her public profile than her claims about Clarence Thomas, even though they were never proven. And now Anita Hill is calling for an FBI investigation into Christine Blasey Ford's claims against Kavanaugh, though it's hard to imagine what the FBI can uncover about an incident that allegedly